Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. On this video, we've got a post from Am I the A-hole with an update and one from Malicious Compliance. So if you want to get started with the stories, then just use the timestamps below the video. Now, I'd like to thank all of you that support me and my videos. It means a lot to me that you do, so thank you so much, and I hope you keep enjoying the content. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user AITA Surrogate Baby. Am I the a-hole for donating baby stuff intended for my sister-in-law's baby? My 34 female wife, 36 female, and I have been together for 7 years and had been trying to conceive via IVF and sperm bank for the last 3 years. My wife originally wanted to be the one to carry our child, but after 2 failed IVF attempts, I tried the treatment. We got no luck and both had to suffer the consequences of miscarriages. This was a traumatic time for us and we finally decided to adopt last year. Unfortunately, there is a bias against same-sex couples from adopting and fostering, so we always had a hard time talking to the agency. We were open to fostering and were going to give it a try. During this time, my sister-in-law fell pregnant with a one-night stand, and when we were talking about adoption and foster parenting, she approached us and told us she wanted to give birth because of religious reasons, but had no desire to be a single parent. She asked whether we would consider adopting her child. My wife was ecstatic, and so was I. I brought up the possibility of a written contract, but my wife told me she trusted her sister. We paid for every pregnancy-related expense my sister-in-law had. The doctor appointments, genetic tests she requested, lab works, ultrasounds, her random cravings at 3 in the morning. We even paid her rent for the 3rd trimester. She decided on a C-section because she was scared, so we paid for the delivery and the hospital stay. Just after she gave birth, we came to visit her to talk about transferring the rights to us. She told us she was keeping the baby and wasn't giving it to us because she didn't believe we were ready for a baby yet. My wife was devastated. She cried herself to sleep for several days because we put the adoption on hold and had everything ready for the baby to come. Her nursery was ready and my wife painted the walls herself. We understood that sister-in-law probably felt the maternal instinct kicking in and decided to give everything we purchased for the baby to her because she was a single mom with no ready needs. We also decided to pay the remainder of the birth expenses as a gift to her. My wife insisted that she needed all the help she could get for her new baby. A few days after the incident, I went to my mother-in-law's house, and this is where my sister-in-law currently lives. She was on the phone, probably talking to a friend of hers, and when I heard the baby mentioned, I eavesdropped. I shouldn't have done it, but I couldn't help myself. She was talking to her friend about how she knew from the beginning that she wasn't going to give the baby to us sinners, and that her sister was an idiot to think that she would allow her baby to be brainwashed by us. I was honestly shocked. My sister-in-law was never really close to me personally, but my wife always thought she was her best friend. I never knew that she was against our marriage because she never voiced her opinion about it. So here's where I may be the a-hole. I left my mother-in-law's house and got home. Got everything I could fit inside our SUV and donated it to the homeless shelter. I made 3 trips in total to give everything away. I was honestly so mad. My wife came home to an empty room and asked me what was going on. I told her the whole story. While she was shocked at her sister's reaction, she told me that I had no right to give away the baby stuff and that her sister really needed it. I couldn't understand how after what she said about her, my wife would still protect her. Well, my sister-in-law found out and all hell broke loose. She berated me on how she was a single mom to a baby now, how she needed these things, how she didn't prepare for the baby's arrival because she depended on us. I told her to kick rocks. After spending over 10K on her expenses, I was beyond frustrated to allow her to continue. She told me that these things were meant for this baby, and I was wrong for giving her things away. My mother-in-law has called my wife to tell her how selfish I was for my actions, and that we should at least help sister-in-law with upcoming expenses, because my mother-in-law is on a fixed income, unable to help, and sister-in-law wants to focus on raising the baby rather than working. From my understanding, we owe her nothing, and we have already helped her tremendously, but my wife feels incredibly guilty and wants me to help a new mom. I understand that she is in a bad place, but how she acted is way beyond what I'm comfortable dealing with. Although I also feel incredibly bad because I may have put the baby in a bad situation. I am starting to think maybe I was the a-hole to donate the stuff meant for the baby. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for not wanting to help my sister-in-law with her baby expenses and for donating the stuff meant for the baby? Ouch. Well, OP, here's the first thing I'm gonna say. Your sister-in-law absolutely sucks. She used you guys for money while she was pregnant. She never really had any intentions of giving the baby to you guys, which was this whole thing about you guys adopting a kid. She got you and your wife's hopes up. She got you guys to pay for everything and all the baby stuff. And that's why she is a huge a-hole in this whole situation. To your question, you don't owe your sister-in-law anything, and if you don't want to help her, you shouldn't have to. The only thing that you have done in which I can say yes, you are the a-hole or you may be the a-hole is because you donated the baby's things. Now here's the thing, those things might have been meant for the baby or could have been used by any other baby. The thing is that you unilaterally decided to give them away without talking to your wife first, and those things didn't belong to just you, they belonged to both you and your wife. Now you made that decision out of anger and it was a petty decision, yes. Is it a justified decision? Maybe, but it still wasn't your stuff to give away. If it was only yours and you had bought everything and you decided to give it away because you were angry at your sister-in-law, then yes, you are absolutely entitled to do that, regardless of how anybody feels about it. But those things weren't just yours. So, in summary, you're not the a-hole for not wanting to help your sister-in-law with her baby expenses, but I do think you may be the a-hole for donating the baby stuff without talking to your wife first. What do you guys think? What is your judgment in this situation? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they had to say. What the F am I doing here, dude? Says, not the a-hole. Your sister-in-law took advantage of you, financially and emotionally manipulated you. She's the a-hole. Full stop. And while I think maybe you should have consulted with your wife before donating it all, it sure as hell shouldn't have gone to her. She had a one-night stand and needs to face the realization that she's now a mom, which means she's responsible for the baby. She decided to keep it and manipulate you into paying all her bills. She needs to step up and be the parent. Not y'all. You don't have to help her with anything. She made her bed and has to sleep in it no matter how crappy it is. And OP responds, I understand, but we had a lot of nights dreaming about how it would be to finally be with our baby, and the thought of her going hungry or hurting makes my heart ache. She is the innocent in this, and I don't know how to help her. Kelly Margaret says, not the a-hole. Your sister-in-law is an awful person. She dared to comment on your life while she was stealing and deceiving you and your wife. I wouldn't give her anything else. She just wants to live off your money. And OP responds, that is true. My only issue is that the baby we dreamt of spending years together getting hurt by my actions. She is innocent in this and she may not be my baby, but we went to every appointment, listened to every heartbeat. I can't help but think I am also punishing her for her mother's actions. Pinwin Laurent says, not the a-hole. First, how is Little Miss One Night Stand gonna call y'all the sinners? Second, you got all that stuff for your baby, not hers. She got it from you through fraud and lying you were gonna be parents. And while she had the right to change her mind, she thought she could get away with playing you. Unacceptable. If your mother-in-law is so dang concerned about her daughter being a poor single mom, maybe she should encourage her to get a job and stop leeching off a family. OP's edit. Thank you guys for your kind responses. Some of your answers really made me think about how I should approach the topic. I will apologize to my wife because I didn't have her approval getting rid of things that were also hers. I didn't consider her feelings. I will also discuss the option of therapy with her. This all feels surreal, and I will be taking a while to digest some of the responses and think back on everything. Also, a huge thanks to some of you guys suggesting to look at LGBT-friendly adoption centers. I can't believe we didn't think to Google that. The adoption topic will be on hold while we process all of the events, but thanks for giving us hope. I will probably post an update after things have settled and I am no longer angry and confused. Thank you for now. Well, the community is definitely of the mind that OP is not the a-hole, and you guys already know what I think about this whole situation. So how about we move on with the update to see what happened. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the original post that we just read is from about 5 or 6 months ago, and the update is just from a few days ago. So let's continue with that and see what has happened in this time. Hello guys, it's been a while. I have been dealing with my heartache and decided to log off Reddit. Just the mere thought of the baby girl made me cry continuously. I have been going to therapy and I am feeling much better, although some sadness is still there. My therapist actually helped me understand this situation was out of my control and I shouldn't be blamed for it all. She agreed that the donation without telling my wife was wrong, but it was a minor mistake in such a huge mess. This is unfortunately not a happy update because my wife and I's relationship had taken a toll and we decided to separate. We are still friends, but our relationship ending is still hurting me. A happy thing that came out of this was that I was able to adopt a tripod stray from Turkey. He had survived parvovirus and is the sweetest dog I have ever been in contact with. Our bond is what's keeping me happy and healthy through this situation. My ex-wife finally got in contact with her sister after our split, and I got the pictures of the baby. She is an angel and she is smiling constantly from what I hear. I asked my ex-wife not to send me any photos of her for a while because I am still in the process of healing. Thank you, all of you. I truly feel so appreciated as I read through your comments. I actually showed them to my therapist and she was amazed at the support. She believes that all of this support and my friends have really helped me in the healing process with therapy. I have forgiven my sister-in-law and I bear no ill wishes towards her. This does not mean that I will probably ever be in contact with her, but I needed to forgive her to move on. If you are able to, please donate to either a charity for less fortunate kids or animals. They are truly the most innocent beings that deserve all the support they can get. OP, first thing I'm gonna say is I'm sorry this whole situation took a toll so big on your marriage that it made it end. It sucks that your sister-in-law is basically the catalyst for your marriage ending with all of her manipulation and her views on your marriage. I don't know if it's right, but I do hope that your ex-wife eventually learns to see her sister for who she truly is. I also feel bad for that baby and I hope she doesn't grow up to be like her mother. Hopefully your ex-wife can help with that. All in all, and even though it is a sad update, you're moving forward and you're in a better place than you were a few months ago. So that's a positive. Hopefully life will keep getting better for you. All the best in the future, OP. Now, before we move on to the next post, we have to take a look at the dog tax. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user Evening Cantaloupe 30. You got exactly what you asked for. So, when my dad was about 18, he worked for a gardening center in Chicago, and he was closing for the night. Every night, my dad's job was to close up and walk the money from the registers to the owner's house. So, right before closing, a guy came in and pulled a gun out, demanding all the money in the register. So my dad, being the only one there and with a gun in his face, opens the register and gives the guy like $60. The dude obviously took the cash and ran off, and my dad, being the cool guy he is, just shook it off and looked up. He still had to go to the owner's house, so he did, and he explained to the owner that they had been robbed. And the owner was all worried and asked how much money they lost, and my dad told him that it was about $60. The owner was pretty relieved because obviously he expected to have had more money stolen, and so he asked my dad, "That's all we made today?" And my dad said, "Nope, here's your $3,000. Since my dad's job was to walk the money to the owner's house every night, he had already cleared out most of the register and put the money in his jacket pocket, only leaving some extra cash in the register in case someone came in last minute and needed change. So my dad stood there with a gun pointed at him and $3,000 hidden in his pocket and gave the guy with the gun $60 because he asked for the money in the register. Wow, OP, that is the perfect malicious compliance. Also, your dad's not just a cool guy, he's got nerves of steel. Man, a gun pointed at his face and all he did was just, yep, open the register, take that, and yeah, go away. Wow. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.